service members, being able to see such a strong character, such a brilliant character on screen, like, what has been the most rewarding part of being Rhodey?
Well, I think all of it. I mean, seeing people's responses and when people come up and say that it meant a lot to them, the character, the way it was portrayed, dealing with what he has to deal with after, obviously, what happens in the one right before, and that he comes back and that he's able to stand strong again with his, his cohorts and to make the thing happen. That's always very rewarding. And that's the experience that I always get from fans. But one of the most rewarding things is also this, sort of family that we've created over all of these years that we get to keep returning to. And every couple of years, things have happened in people's lives, families and kids. And, this is 10, 11 years that we've been doing this. So it's always nice to have a reason to come back in our busy lives and revisit this space again with these guys that have become, like I said, one of our, the family.
Well, that actually brings up a really good question. Rhodey has an accident, and there is a portion of where he has this amazingly, I'm putting it lightly.
She thought you were going somewhere. He thought you were going somewhere else with the accident.
I think he needed Depends, like a diaper or something.
Yeah.
He made a poopy.
Like, ooh, Rhodey had an accident.
Only in the dark, Jeremy. Only in the dark.
In the dark. Double call back.
But
By the way, one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet, and obviously it shows on screen, but he's really quite a terrible human off camera. no, truly, one of the funniest dudes you'll ever meet.
Thank you,
I
man.
mean, and obviously a tremendous actor, but honestly, it's such a pleasure. You want to put him in your pocket. Always,
Remember
just
when
take
you
him
did that?
around. I
Remember
did
when
do
you
that.
did
I did that
If he
once.
doesn't have an accident.
Yeah. You just want to kind of do that to him once in a while.
but you are a tremendous actor, which is well, everybody's got an opinion, Chris. But playing the role of Rhodey and really recovering from that accident was a really big deal. Have you had any response?
Just keep moving.
You
You
have any
can't stop.
response?
Give me any space.
I
Just have to
can't
keep
let
pushing
it. I
through.
know.
Yeah.
Have you had any response from the disability community in regards to your portrayal?
I
of Rhodey?
actually have. And people have asked how, what was the takeaway from that? Did I consult with people? And obviously, yes, I talked to people who had spinal injuries and how to deal with that and how to portray that. And how, this is really a hard question to answer and move through with Captain America.
You were doing a really great job, Don. I have so
I'm doing
much
my
respect.
best. But yes, people have reached out to me with regards to that and been very, and in fact, there's been kind of a movement about getting more actors with quote-unquote disabilities to be able to represent and play themselves on screen, which I think is very important to continue to do. So hopefully those opportunities will expand and grow. But yeah, I felt fortunate to actually get to take that character through that arc. Because, and I think it's something that's very good, with Clint's character too, we visit very dark places in these movies.
Yeah.
And as actors, we appreciate having, the opportunity to do things that are fantastical and huge and fun and exciting, but also to really touch some deep emotional beats and put that all inside of that whole universe. And that's something that's really a testament to the directors and the writers and Kevin, to not shy away from those moments, but to really make them a big part of what the movie is. And I think the fact that the movie's that, elastic and expansive that it can support all of those different things is great.
Absolutely. Don't worry, I'm going to get back at Chris right now and ask him a question.
He has no idea what we're talking about.
It's fine.
He thought this was a line for hot dogs.
Well, you made a wrong turn. So we've seen. I love you guys.
I love this too so much.
So we've seen Steve Rogers, beard, no beard, uniform change, international vigilante, fighting across multiple movies. Is there anything in your portrayal of Cap that you knew that you just had to preserve from the very beginning?
No, I don't know. That's the trickiest thing about the character is that he's a good man, and so trying to find new ways to make it interesting. that was the challenge because he always puts himself last, and it became a real collaboration between myself and Kevin and the Russos and Marcus and McFeely in terms of trying to preserve his nature. You know, he's kind of a taciturn guy. He doesn't kind of, you know, there's a lot of other characters in the Marvel Universe who kind of use their words for creative advantage, and Cap is a little bit more of a simple-minded guy, and it's hard to kind of create stories around him to at once create conflict, but not make him just the center cog where circumstance happens around him. So in a lot of ways, I would lean on the Kevin Feige's and Joe Russo's and Anthony Russo's and the Mark McFeely to try and help me find ways to make him at once consistent but entertaining. So
Yeah.
it was a group effort.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
America's ass.
Yeah.
All I really said was, how can I show off my ass?
Yeah.
That was it.
At the premiere.
You wrote
At
that
the
line.
premiere when you had no clothes on.
I just wore the tightest pants possible, and you know.
Nobody
job.
was complaining. So, while we missed Hawkeye in Infinity War a little bit,
No, I was smart. I
Yeah.
didn't turn to ashes. I was hanging out.
I was
doing
like, look,
better things than
I am
turning to
on
ash.
house arrest. I am staying here with my family. You know, as Hawkeye being the family man kind of the Avengers, how hard was it, particularly just kind of going back to your comments, Don, how hard was it for you to come back, badass haircut, and be full assassin, full just, you were leaving bodies. Hawkeye was
Bad
just
man.
leaving
He's a bad
bodies. It was scary.
They were bad people. And I was pissed off, I guess. We only saw for a minute. It's literally like for 2 minutes of the movie. And then I had to go do something else.
Save the world.
No, just, I don't know what I was doing, but
Something.
I think was I just supposed to try to kill myself in the movie and then Scarlet got in the way, you know?
I mean, there was this epic fight scene between
Yeah.
Hawkeye and Black Widow, which was hard. Which was a hard scene. I'm not gonna lie, I started crying, only because of their friendship. And so you're on Vormir, for those out there who have seen this movie a billion times, and you're like, say where they are. How hard was it when you first read that scene, and you're like, man, I have to basically, my best friend is in the movie is about to be dead.
Well, first of all, the scene, I don't think I ever read it, for sure. It might have been written, but I never read it. They told me about it, and we shot it, and it's very different than it's in the movie now. It's a scene we reshot, because it's a much more complicated scene that's in Endgame now. There is an attack. Thanos had some ship or something, and a bunch of weird aliens were running around. It made it too complicated. So what they did is we reshot the scene, still with the same kind of idea, but now we're just fighting each other to go commit suicide to get Soul Stone. And there was I shot that not that long ago. It's only maybe 6 months ago, and it was a tough scene for both of us to shoot. Weird as all hell. Two people trying to hurt each other so they can go try to commit suicide. But
She's just trying to bring Clint back to his wife. She made a promise.
yeah, I can't talk about that. Can't talk about that. Sorry.
All right, so let's switch to social media. We're gonna lighten it up for a second, 'cause